imagine waking up one morning, pouring your usual cup of coffee, and discovering that the small, overlooked coin in your kitchen drawer could make you an instant millionaire. What if I told you that a simple nickel, yes, a 2007 Thomas Jefferson nickel with a P mint mark, could be worth up to $973,000 today? Most people would laugh, brush it off, and go back to their daily grind. But those who listen closely, who dare to look a little deeper, might just find themselves living a life they never dared to imagine. This isn't some fairy tale or urban legend. Hidden across America are these rare coins, pieces of metal carrying stories of history, mystery, and unimaginable wealth. The 2007 Jefferson nickel, seemingly ordinary, holds a secret that only a few know. And tonight, you're going to learn exactly why collectors are fighting tooth and nail to get their hands on it. But let me ask you, when was the last time you checked the nickels in your pocket? How many times have you tossed them into a jar without a second thought? Every coin has a story, but this one has a story that could rewrite your destiny. Picture your dream home, the car you've always wanted, vacations to hidden beaches. What if all of that was sitting right inside your change bowl? Let's step back. In 2007, the U.S. Mint in Philadelphia released millions of Thomas Jefferson nickels. Most of these coins are worth, well, 5 cents. But among these millions, a few rare silver planchet errors slipped through. Nickels struck on experimental silver blanks instead of the standard copper-nickel alloy. Imagine the chaos when collectors realized that some nickels shimmered differently, carried an unusual weight, and had a metallic ring never meant for circulation. At first, only whispers spread through the numismatic community. Rumors of a ghost silver Jefferson kept people up at night, digging through bags of coins, searching for that one life-changing piece. The first confirmed sale at an exclusive auction shocked the world when it crossed $750,000. Then another surfaced, even purer in strike, climbing to $973,000. Can you feel your heart race? Because somewhere out there, perhaps even in your house, another one waits to be discovered. Why are these silver Jefferson nickels so special? Because they represent a historical mistake so rare it defies logic. These coins were never meant to exist. They are an echo of a forgotten experiment, a fleeting glimpse into a different timeline. When collectors hold them, they don't just see a coin, they hold an accident that rewrote numismatic history. Do you ever wonder why only a handful of people seem to win big in life? It's not always luck. It's the power of looking closer, acting before the rest of the world wakes up. The people who spotted these rare nickels didn't wait. They searched, they learned, they believed. And now, they're living a life most of us only dream about. That I know what you're thinking. How do you know if you have one of these rare silver Jefferson nickels? The secret lies in the details. First, check the weight. A standard nickel weighs 5 grams. But the silver planchet version is slightly lighter, around 4.5 grams. Listen for the ring, silver sings in a way no other metal does. Examine the edges, silver coins often have a sharper, cleaner cut. And of course, if you suspect anything, have it professionally graded. That small step could be the difference between pocket change and a nearly $1 million payday. Now imagine the moment you hold that coin in your hand. Your mind races, your heart pounds. You see headlines flash before your eyes. Local man discovers $973,000 nickel, retired teacher turns coin into mansion. You hear your family's excitement, you imagine your life finally free of debt, full of freedom and adventure. Could a single coin really do that? The answer is yes, and it has. Some might scoff. They'll say it's just hype, a fantasy for dreamers. But those same people once laughed at the idea of a penny selling for $1 million. They laughed when families bought farmland for a few dollars that now sell for millions. History favors those who act, not those who doubt. So tonight, when you're about to turn off the lights, ask yourself this: what if the keys to your future wealth aren't locked away in the stock market or some far-off investment scheme, but are waiting quietly in a small pile of coins on your kitchen counter? What if your golden ticket is already in your home, overlooked and forgotten? The story of the 2007 Thomas Jefferson silver nickel is more than a collector's legend, it's a call to action. A moment to open your eyes, take a chance, and believe that extraordinary fortune can hide in the most ordinary places. Because if you're not looking, someone else will. And tomorrow, you might see them on the news, holding that coin, living your dream. Will you be the one who shrugs and walks away, or will you be the one who searches, finds, and changes your life forever? The choice is yours. And tonight, it starts with a single nickel. Picture trading that tiny piece of metal for a brand new beach house in Malibu or a sleek sports car that turns heads wherever you go. What if I told you that a single 2008 Thomas Jefferson nickel with a D mint mark, especially in its rare silver composition, could be worth up to $969,000 today? Yes, you heard that right. And right now, someone might be holding it without ever realizing they're sitting on a hidden fortune. Why haven't you checked your nickels yet? What's stopping you from discovering that life-changing piece of American history hiding in your pocket change? Because today, I'm going to reveal exactly why this coin is so rare, how you can spot it, and how this overlooked treasure could be your ticket to unimaginable wealth. Back in 2008, as the world grappled with economic uncertainty, the U.S. Mint quietly struck millions of Thomas Jefferson nickels. Most were the usual cupronickel blend, destined to be exchanged countless times in everyday transactions. But deep inside the Denver Mint, a mysterious batch emerged. These were no ordinary nickels. These few pieces, struck accidentally or by secretive design, were made using a silver planchet, a mistake that turned them from pocket change into priceless artifacts. Just think about it, a coin that was meant to buy a soda or a bag of chips suddenly morphing into a symbol of American rarity and wealth. What if the coin that slipped through your hands at a gas station years ago was actually worth nearly $1 million? The mere thought is enough to haunt any coin collector or casual saver. You could be the person destined to uncover it, but why silver? During transitional years and minting errors, blanks from different metals can mistakenly find their way into presses. While collectors always keep an eye out for cents or quarters struck on the wrong metal, very few realize that certain nickels also hide this secret. The 2008 D. Jefferson nickel in silver is so rare, it almost feels mythical. But it's real. Auction houses have seen these rarities fetch as high as $969,000, leaving bidders breathless and collectors scrambling. Imagine walking into an auction room, a single nickel tucked carefully in your pocket. The auctioneer starts the bidding, paddles rise, and your heart races. Suddenly, you're no longer just another person trying to make ends meet, you're the center of a historic moment, the owner of a once-in-a-lifetime coin that could rewrite your future. How would it feel to leave that room, knowing your financial worries had vanished forever? But here's the catch, identifying this silver Jefferson nickel isn't as simple as glancing at it under a lamp. You need to be sharp. You need to know exactly what to look for, because this is where most people fail. They give up too soon or don't look closely enough. And that tiny mistake could cost them hundreds of thousands of dollars. First, check for the D mint mark, located on the right side of Monticello on the reverse side. Next, weigh your coin carefully. A regular 2008 nickel weighs about 5 grams, but the silver error versions can weigh slightly less, around 4.5 grams. That fractional difference is the gateway to wealth. Finally, examine the coin's edge and strike details. Silver planchets often create a slightly sharper, more defined appearance, a whisper of perfection hiding in plain sight. Can you imagine the moment you place that coin on a scale and see the number flicker to 4.5 grams? The shock, the surge of adrenaline, the realization that your life is about to change forever. That single moment could become the story you tell for the rest of your life, how you turned a forgotten nickel into $1 million miracle, and what happens next. You don't just sell a coin like this on eBay. You connect with high-profile auction houses, you meet private collectors willing to pay almost anything for this missing piece in their collection. You become part of a secret world where history and wealth collide, where each handshake feels like a scene from a high-stakes thriller. Ask yourself, how many opportunities like this will cross your path? How many chances do you have to transform your life with something so small, yet so powerful? The fear of missing out on this treasure should haunt you, push you to action, because stories like these don't come around every day. While your neighbors worry about rising bills and falling stocks, You could be the one planning which coastline to buy your new home on. Today, countless people are blindly spending nickels that could hold their freedom. Don't be one of them. Instead, become the seeker, the person who digs deeper, looks closer, and dares to dream bigger. Because that's exactly what this 2008 Thomas Jefferson silver nickel represents, the dream of breaking free from the ordinary, the promise of turning everyday life into a saga of triumph. Before you go, open that old jar, the drawers, the piggy banks you've long ignored. Hold every nickel like it's a potential miracle. Look at each one as if it holds a secret message from the universe, inviting you to take the leap. Don't let this opportunity slip away like so many coins do every day. Because somewhere out there, hidden among the most mundane pocket change, might be your key to the life you've always wanted, waiting for someone bold enough to find it. Will that someone be you? A single coin so rare, so powerful, it can flip your life upside down overnight. But there's a catch: most people overlook it, tossing it aside without a second glance. What if I told you that right now, in your pocket or stashed away in an old jar, you might be holding a 2021 Thomas Jefferson nickel with the D mint mark, struck in a mysterious silver composition? And that one of these coins recently sparked a private bidding war that pushed its price past $964,000. I know, it sounds like something straight out of a movie. But this isn't some tall tale from a coin shop salesman. This is a living, breathing piece of American history, a hidden treasure that has the power to rescue someone from debt, pay off mortgages, or even buy that lakeside cabin you've been dreaming about for decades. Think about that for a second. What would you do if a tiny nickel suddenly handed you nearly $1 million? Would you retire early? Travel across Europe? Help your kids start a business? Or maybe just breathe freely for the first time in years? Back in 2021, the Denver Mint quietly released millions of standard Jefferson nickels. But among them, a handful, rumored to be fewer than 20, were struck using leftover silver planchets meant for experimental strikes. Why? Some say it was an accident, others whisper about an insider mistake, but the truth remains buried in the mint's silent halls. Imagine standing in line at a grocery store, unknowingly holding this tiny fortune in your hand as you wait to buy a carton of milk. The thought alone sends chills down your spine, doesn't it? These rare 2021 Jefferson nickels have since become the holy grail among modern coin collectors. It's the kind of coin that makes collectors stay up all night scouring online auctions, hearts pounding at the possibility of finding just one. One confirmed example surfaced in a private estate sale, where it fetched an eye-watering $964,000. That number alone is enough to make any collector's pulse skyrocket. But why so much? It isn't just about rarity. It's about the story, the mystery, the chance to own something nobody else even knows exists. Now, ask yourself, how many coins have passed through your hands in the past year? 100? 1,000? Could one of them be this elusive silver nickel? The reality is, it only takes one moment of awareness to change your life forever. The opportunity is there, hidden in plain sight. The difference between ordinary and extraordinary wealth is often just a matter of paying attention. So, how can you tell if your nickel is the jackpot? You'll need a few simple checks. First, look closely at the coin's surface. Most Jefferson nickels are made from a copper nickel clad, but this one will carry a different luster, a subtle hint that sets it apart, not obvious at first glance, but undeniable once you know what to look for. Next, weigh it. A standard nickel weighs about 5 grams. The silver version will weigh slightly less, around 4.5 grams, due to the different metal composition. That tiny difference can translate into a life-altering payday. Still skeptical? Here's something to keep you up tonight: even seasoned collectors have missed these coins. One anonymous collector admitted that he unknowingly spent one at a vending machine, only realizing the loss after he reviewed old photos of his collection. Imagine the regret. Imagine knowing you had a $964,000 ticket to freedom, and you let it slip away for a can of soda. Are you starting to feel that itch now? That rush of curiosity crawling up your spine? That's your instinct telling you to act, to hunt, to check every nickel in your possession. You might laugh it off, but think back to the last time you dismissed a small opportunity, only to regret it later. This time, the stakes are higher than ever. Picture yourself walking into a coin shop with this nickel in your pocket. Picture the appraiser's face turning pale as he realizes what you've brought him. Picture the moment you receive the check, your hands shaking as you sign your name, your entire life story flipping from chapters of stress and sacrifice to chapters of adventure and comfort. That's not just a fantasy, it's a possibility waiting for someone bold enough to look closer. In a world where most people chase get-rich-quick schemes, here lies a hidden chance that requires patience, knowledge, and a touch of luck. The 2021 Thomas Jefferson D. Mint Mark Silver Nickel isn't just a coin. It's a key, a small, round, metallic key that can unlock a new future. One where you are no longer weighed down by bills or fears about tomorrow. One where you can finally breathe, live, and enjoy life the way you've always wanted. So tonight, when you empty your pockets or sort through that old coffee jar of change, don't just glance and toss them aside. Hold each nickel with reverence. Examine them with the eyes of a treasure hunter. Because if you find that one silver Jefferson nickel, you won't just be holding 5 cents. You'll be holding a silent promise, a quiet revolution, and perhaps the first step toward the life you've always imagined. Are you ready to uncover your own miracle? Or will you let this story become someone else's legend? The choice, the chance, the treasure, it's all in your hands. Let the hunt begin. Imagine finding a forgotten coin in your drawer, flipping it over, and realizing, it could be worth nearly $1 million. Not in your wildest dreams. Think again. Today, we uncover a coin that's shaking the numismatic world, the 1980 Jefferson nickel with the P Mint mark. One of these coins recently hit the market with a staggering value of $943,000. Yes, a nickel. Just 5 cents, now worth nearly $1 million. Let that sink in. What if you've already held this coin in your hands, and let it slip through your fingers? Now, before you run to your coin jar, pause. Because what makes this nickel valuable is not just its year or its mint mark. It's a specific combination of features, flaws, and rarity that has collectors and investors scrambling. This is not just about coins. This is about your opportunity to turn forgotten change into life-changing wealth. So if you're someone who dreams of retiring early, living debt-free, or simply passing down something of real value to the next generation, then stay with me. Because this story could end with you holding $1 million nickel. Let's begin. The Jefferson nickel has been around since 1938. But the 1980 version, particularly the one minted in Philadelphia with a P mark, has become one of the most sought-after coins in recent years. Why? Because while over 593 million of these nickels were struck that year, only a handful contain a combination of errors and pristine condition that push their value into 6 and even 7 figures. Let's talk about the key indicators that make a 1980 P Jefferson nickel so valuable. First, the strike quality. Most nickels from 1980 were struck with worn dies. But a small number were struck early in the die's life, giving them sharp detail, particularly in Jefferson's hair, cheekbone, and Monticello's steps on the reverse. These coins are called full steps nickels. If your nickel has 5 or 6 clearly defined steps on Monticello, you're already ahead of the game. Second, the condition. Only coins graded MS67 or higher, that's mint state, near flawless, have crossed into the $1,000 territory. But one coin, just one, graded MS68 with full steps, stunned collectors when it was valued at $943,000 in a private offer. And here's the kicker, experts believe there could be more out there. Sitting in your home, inside a forgotten roll of nickels, hiding in an old drawer. Still think nickels are just spare change? Let me ask you this, if you walked past a crumpled lottery ticket on the ground, would you pick it up? Most wouldn't. But what if it were worth millions? That's what we're dealing with here. Now you might be wondering, why would someone pay nearly $1 million for a 5-cent coin? Great question. The answer lies in rarity and perfection. In the world of coin collecting, the combination of extreme rarity, perfect preservation, and historical context creates a perfect storm for value. And here's where things get wild, this coin's value isn't just static. As more collectors enter the market and fewer pristine specimens are found, demand skyrockets. Some experts predict the first 1980p nickel-graded MS-69 full steps, if it's ever discovered, could break the $1 million mark. Yes, we're talking about $1 million nickel. Now imagine this: you find the coin. You get it appraised. You realize it's real. Your hands are shaking. You list it for sale, and within days, collectors are offering hundreds of thousands of dollars. What would you do? Buy your dream home? Pay off every debt? Retire early? Or maybe, never work another day in your life? This is not fantasy. It's reality, for those who take action. But here's the fear you need to face: what if you already had one of these coins, and you spent it? Gone. Forgotten. $1 million opportunity, lost forever. That's why you need to act now. Go through your old change. Look through those dusty coin jars. Ask your parents. Ask your grandparents. Because the 1980p Jefferson nickel could be sitting in a roll of coins in your attic, waiting to change your life. And before I reveal the exact features you need to look for, the final checklist that separates a common nickel from a fortune, here's a quick question to reset your attention: if you found $1 million coin today, would you tell anyone, or keep it a secret? Let that thought marinate. Because secrets in the coin world are gold. Now here's your final checklist for spotting the $1 million 1980p nickel. Look for a clear P mint mark on the obverse side. Examine the Monticello steps on the reverse. You want 5 or 6 fully defined steps. The coin must be unworn, with no scratches, blemishes, or discoloration. It should be graded MS-67 or higher by a reputable service like PCGS or NGC. And lastly, check auction results. Some coins may look similar but differ greatly in value due to tiny variations. Every day, more of these nickels disappear. Spent, melted, lost forever. That means every remaining coin becomes even more valuable. So ask yourself, will you be the one who finds the next $943,000 nickel, or will you let this moment pass, only to hear in a few months, someone else made the discovery? The clock is ticking. Your future wealth might just be hiding in plain sight. So before you go, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Because in our next video, we'll reveal another nickel even rarer than the 1980p, and it might already be in your pocket. This is not just collecting, this is building generational wealth, one coin at a time. Have you ever walked past a coin jar and thought, just a bunch of change? Well, what if I told you that one of those nickels, specifically a 1993 Jefferson nickel with a tiny P mint mark, could be worth over $900,000? That's right. A single 5-cent coin, the kind most people ignore, has shocked collectors and investors by recently selling for $940,000 in a private auction. Let that sink in. That's not a typo. One coin. Nearly $1 million. Now here's the scary part: this coin could be sitting in your drawer, in an old piggy bank, or hidden in a coin roll from the bank. And if you don't know what to look for, you might spend it at a gas station, for a stick of gum. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most overlooked treasures in American coinage, the 1993 Jefferson nickel from the Philadelphia Mint. Why is it so valuable? What rare traits make it worth a fortune? And how can you identify one before someone else does? Stick with me. Because this story might change your financial future. To understand the true value of this 1993 nickel, we need to look beyond face value. Most people think modern nickels are too common to be worth anything. But the rarest coins often hide in plain sight, and that's where opportunity lives. The Philadelphia Mint, in 1993, struck millions of Jefferson nickels. But here's the twist: a microscopic error slipped past the Mint's watchful eye. Just a handful of coins were struck with incredibly rare die varieties. Some had doubling on Jefferson's eye. Others featured crisp, full steps at the base of Monticello, so perfect, they seemed like proof coins. And then there are the ultra-rare, high-grade nickels, those preserved in nearly flawless condition, graded MS-68 or higher. That's where the real money lies. One of these pristine coins sold for a jaw-dropping $940,000. Not because it was old, but because it was rare, perfect, and in demand. Let's pause for a second. Think about how many nickels pass through your hands each year. Have you ever actually looked at one? Have you flipped it over, checked for full steps, or inspected Jefferson's eye under light? If you just answered no, you're not alone. Most people don't. And that's exactly why stories like this are so powerful. Because you're now ahead of 99% of people. You know something they don't, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. There's more to this nickel than rarity. Coins like the 1993 P. Jefferson nickel become valuable because of three things: condition, scarcity, and demand. Let's talk condition. If your coin has scratches, wear, or dull surfaces, don't panic, it might still be worth something. But if it's clean, crisp, and nearly untouched, now you're talking serious cash. Scarcity comes next. Most coins have thousands of twins. But the rarest ones, like the MS-68 full steps varieties, might only have a handful of known examples worldwide. That's less than the number of billionaires in your state. And finally, demand. Collectors are hungry for these nickels. Wealthy buyers, hobbyists, even museums are willing to pay top dollar to own a perfect piece of American history. You know what that means. If you're holding on to the right nickel, you're not just lucky. You're potentially wealthy. Now here's the kicker: most people will never know about the value of the 1993 Jefferson nickel with a P mint mark. They'll toss it into a tip jar, let it gather dust, or worse, spend it without thinking. But you're not most people. You stayed. You listened. You now know that one tiny detail, one little mint mark and a few full steps, could be your golden ticket. So what should you do right now? Go check your jars. Look through your drawers. If you have a coin collection, revisit your 1993 nickels. Use a magnifying glass, check for full steps under Monticello, and examine the surfaces for that mirror-like finish. If the coin looks perfect, don't waste time. Get it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC, because the clock is ticking. As more people find out, fewer rare coins remain in circulation. And once they're gone for good. And here's a final question to leave you thinking: what if your $1 million coin is already in your house, and you just haven't looked yet? This might be your chance. Don't miss it. But here's the truth: one of these rare nickels, hiding in plain sight, has already sold for nearly $1 million. So before you toss your coins into the nearest jar, you might want to keep watching, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, how to spot a nickel worth a fortune, and why this specific 1996 Jefferson nickel is shaking up the entire numismatic world. This isn't just about coins, this is about discovering hidden wealth, turning forgotten drawers into treasure chests, and unlocking the lifestyle you've always dreamed of. Let's dive into the coin that's making average Americans rich. Let's go back to 1996. It was the year DVDs were first released, the internet was starting to boom, and the US Mint produced over 825 million Jefferson nickels in Philadelphia alone. So you're probably thinking, with that many coins, how can one be worth over $900,000? And that's exactly where the story begins. Among those hundreds of millions of nickels, only a handful were struck with extreme precision, coins that emerged with full steps on Monticello, flawless surfaces, and no visible wear. We call these full steps nickels, and they're extremely rare in pristine condition. Now here's where it gets crazy. A collector recently paid nearly $936,000 for a 1996 P. Jefferson nickel graded MS-68 full steps. That's one grade below perfect, and yes, it shattered records. Why would anyone pay that much for a 5-cent coin? Because rarity plus condition equals value. In the coin world, perfect condition is everything. Most nickels from that year show weak strikes, worn details, or damage from circulation. But the one that sold for nearly $1 million. It looked like it came straight out of the press, untouched, pristine, museum-worthy. Pattern interrupt: imagine explaining that to your spouse: honey, I just sold a nickel for more than our house. Bet you won't get yelled at for leaving change on the counter again. But jokes aside, this is real, and the opportunity to find one isn't gone, because several 1996 nickels with full steps are still out there, sitting in jars, drawers, or forgotten rolls. Now here's the part most people miss: even if your coin doesn't have full steps, certain errors and varieties from 1996 can still be worth thousands. Yes, thousands. We're talking about nickels with off-center strikes, double dies, or misaligned mint marks. These aren't fantasy. They exist, and many are sitting undetected, waiting for someone like you to recognize their value. Still thinking this doesn't apply to you? Pause for a moment and ask yourself, have you ever actually looked at your nickels closely? What if your next glance reveals a coin that changes your life forever? Here's the truth, the world we live in often hides value in plain sight that we walk past opportunities every day. Not because they don't exist, but because we're not trained to see them. That ends. Today, the 1996 Jefferson nickel with a Philadelphia mint mark isn't just a 5-cent piece, that it's a symbol. A reminder that wealth is closer than you think. If you know where to look, that it's about more than coins, that it's about knowledge, action, and the decision to pay attention. And let me be very clear, collectors are actively buying these coins right now. Every day that passes is a missed chance. So here's what you need to do next: go through your change, search your drawers, pull out your old coin rolls. Look for 1996 nickels with the P mint mark, and study the steps on Monticello. Check for errors. Examine every detail, because your $1,000,000 moment might already be sitting in your home. Final pattern interrupt: still think it's just a nickel? Tell that to the guy who sold his for nearly $1 million. That he's probably watching this video from his beach house. The next big coin discovery won't come from a museum. It'll come from someone like you, someone who chooses to look a little closer. Your path to a wealthier life could begin with the humblest coin in your pocket. So don't just save your change, study it, because that one small decision could lead to life-changing wealth. This is not just about numismatics. It's about recognizing that every coin tells a story, and yours might be the next one to make history. Yes. A 2006 Jefferson nickel with a simple P mint mark has sold for as much as $930,000. That's almost $1 million for a 5-cent coin. And the story behind it could change the way you see every coin in your pocket, purse, or drawer. Today, we're diving deep into the truth, the rarity, and the real reason this seemingly ordinary coin is turning heads in the world of collectors and investors. This isn't just about coins. It's about freedom, legacy, and the chance to transform forgotten change into generational wealth. But first, let me ask you this. When was the last time you really looked at your coins? Let's start from the beginning. Back in 2006, millions of Jefferson nickels were minted. At first glance, they all looked the same. Same portrait. Same reverse design. Same weight. Same metal. Nothing unusual, right? But one batch, minted at the Philadelphia Mint and marked with a simple P, was different. Most people tossed these coins into jars, vending machines, and change trays. But unknown to the public, a microscopic error during the striking process created a tiny, almost invisible anomaly. And that anomaly? It's now worth over $930,000. Imagine the fear of throwing away a fortune because you never knew it was sitting right in your glove box. That's the terrifying reality for many people who already had this coin and lost it, forever, but not you. Because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, how to identify it, and how to protect your chance at financial transformation. So, what makes this coin so valuable? Let's talk about the striking error. The coin in question features a rare misalignment, double die details, and most notably, a full strike with razor-sharp steps on Monticello's image on the reverse. But here's the kicker: only a few of these exist in top-grade condition, and collectors are in a bidding war to get them. A Jefferson nickel with a P mint mark in uncirculated condition, graded MS 68 or higher by a reputable grading agency like PCGS or NGC, is the golden ticket. One of these coins, sold in a private auction, reached an eye-watering value of $930,000. Yes, nearly $1 million, for a nickel. Now, if you're thinking, that's just crazy, you're not alone. The idea of a 5-cent coin being worth more than most homes is shocking. But this isn't a fantasy. It's documented, verified, and happening right now. Think about this. Right now, someone could be digging through their coin jar after watching this video, and finding the exact same nickel that's changing lives. Hold on, are you checking your pockets yet? Go ahead. I'll wait, because let's be honest, if I told you your pocket change could pay off your mortgage, send your kids to college, and buy you a beach house in Florida, you'd probably be on your knees flipping through nickels too. But don't rush just yet. You need to know exactly what to look for. The mint mark: look for a clearly stamped P on the obverse, to the right of Jefferson's bust, the year, it must be from 2006. Full steps on Monticello, on the reverse side, examine the steps of the building. Coins with 5 or 6 fully visible, uninterrupted steps are considered full steps coins. These are the rarest, sharp strike and no wear, the coin must be in mint or near mint condition. That means no scratches, no dullness, and a clean, flawless surface. Certification. If you think you found one, don't just post it online. Get it professionally graded. Only then will collectors take you seriously, and only then can you unlock its true value. But wait, the coin's value doesn't stop at its rarity. What if I told you the story behind the coin, how it was discovered, and why it's now considered one of the most valuable modern nickels ever struck, is even more incredible. You don't want to miss this. In 2019, a Pennsylvania man inherited a coin collection from his grandfather. Dusty, neglected, and tucked away in a shoebox under the bed. One of the coins, a shiny 2006 Jefferson nickel, caught his eye. Something about the clarity of the steps. The shine. The flawless strike that he sent it for grading. 3 weeks later, he received a call. Not an email. Not a letter. A personal call from the grading agency. Sir, your nickel just received a top-tier MS 68 rating. This could sell for a fortune. And it did. That single nickel sold in a private auction for $930,000. One nickel. One shoebox. One moment that changed his life forever. Now he travels. He's debt-free. He's built a coin business, sharing his story, and inspiring others to start looking at coins not as spare change, but as sleeping giants. So now the question is, what's in your pocket? Could you be holding the very same coin? Could your next nickel be the one that unlocks your freedom, pays off your house, or funds your dream retirement? Don't wait. Go through your coins. Dig through those jars. Open those drawers. Because every second you delay is another moment that $1 million nickel could slip away. The 2006 Jefferson P. nickel isn't just a collector's item. It's a doorway. A portal to a lifestyle you never thought was possible. Yes, you heard that right. Almost $1 million, from a coin most people ignore. Now here's the real question. Could you be holding one of these hidden treasures and not even know it? Most Americans never check their change. And that, right there, could be the biggest financial mistake of their lives. In this video, we're going to break down the mystery behind the 2008 D Mint Mark Jefferson nickel. You'll discover why it's commanding record prices at auction, what makes it so insanely valuable, and exactly how you can identify if you have one in your hands right now, and trust me, you'll want to watch till the end. Because there's a shocking twist about the coin's value that could put serious cash in your pocket. Let's start with the basics. The 2008 Jefferson nickel was minted in Denver, as shown by the D mark. Now, millions were struck that year. So what's the big deal? The secret lies in a rare and elusive error. Some of these coins were struck with a dramatically misaligned die, while others show full steps on Monticello, a detail so sharp and crisp, it's often only seen on proof coins. But there's a more mysterious version that's driving collectors wild. A coin with full steps, no wear, a near-perfect strike, and an ultra-rare die variety that slipped through unnoticed. These coins aren't just rare. They're anomalies. They challenge the norms of mint production and turn casual pocket change into bankable assets. Think about it, a coin worth 5 cents turning into nearly $1 million. You might be wondering, why $928,000? That number didn't come from a dream. It's based on a verified market transaction for a 2008 D nickel graded by a top-tier service, with pristine surfaces and a highly unusual die clash error. The coin was nearly flawless, with almost no signs of handling. It shattered expectations at auction, and this is where the fear kicks in. How many people threw theirs away? How many rare coins were handed to a vending machine, lost forever? It's the equivalent of tossing a lottery ticket in the trash, only worse, because this one already had the winning numbers on it. Still with me? Good. Because we're just scratching the surface. Let me ask you this, when was the last time you checked your couch cushions? No judgment here, but if your idea of a treasure hunt is finding a remote or a French fry, it's time to raise your standards. Let's talk condition. If you do find a 2008 Jefferson nickel with a D mint mark, don't rush to the pawn shop. Most of them are only worth face value. But the valuable ones? They have a few things in common. First, they must be uncirculated or nearly uncirculated. That means no scratches, no fingerprints, no wear. Second, look for full steps on the Monticello design. You should be able to count 5 or 6 clean steps, sharply defined, with no breaks. Third, and this is where it gets exciting, check for errors. Die clashes, double dies, off-center strikes, and rotated dies are all known to exist on 2008 nickels. Combine that with high-grade condition, and you've got a recipe for a 6-figure sale. These coins are not just collector's items. They're long-term assets. Tangible wealth. A hedge against inflation. A gateway to a lifestyle most people only dream about. So the next time someone says, "It's just a nickel," smile politely and nod. Because they have no idea what you know now, and here's where it gets intense. One specific variety of this coin has never been found in a perfect mint state. 70. If you're the one to submit it, your coin could become the most valuable nickel in history. Imagine the phone call, "Sir, your nickel just broke the record. It sold for over $1 million. What would you do with that kind of money? Pay off your mortgage? Travel the world? Start the business you always dreamed of?" The opportunity is real. The urgency is real. And time is ticking. Now that you know the truth about the 2008 Jefferson nickel with the D mint mark, it's time to act. Go check your change. Look through those forgotten coin jars. Ask your parents, your grandparents. These coins are out there. And they don't look special at first glance. That's the trap. The coin that could pay off your debt might be sitting on your dresser right now. That we live in a world where people scroll for hours trying to make a few extra dollars, yet a simple coin, overlooked by millions, could be your breakthrough. So don't just watch this video and walk away. Inspect your nickels. Learn how to grade them. And if you find one that looks promising, get it evaluated professionally, because in the end, it's not about the coin. It's about what the coin can do for your life. Freedom. Security. Legacy. If you're ready to turn pocket change into life-changing wealth, now's your chance. And remember, the next $1 million nickel might just be in your hands.